Welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. Join hosts Dan Melnick and Qasim Masood as they explore big ideas, limitless possibilities, and engage with visionaries, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders who dare to dream big, get inspired, motivated, and find practical tips for personal growth. Think big, dream bigger, and ignite your potential.
Hi, welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, tell us where you live and what you do for a living.
Hi, Dan. Troy Butler. I live in Columbus, Ohio, and I do management and sales consulting, operational consulting in the cannabis, hemp, natural products, supplement world.
Awesome. So here's tell us how you got into cannabis in the first place and what made you want to do it.
Oh, how did I get into cannabis? So I went to Ohio University a long, long time ago. So big party school, but I've been a cannabis connoisseur for a long time and didn't really have a direct route into doing what I'm doing now. I've owned all kinds of businesses. So environmental, consulting, contracting. Probably about 8 or 9 years ago, I had a buddy convinced me to start an e-com lighting business. And as a result of that, we started selling grow lights to cultivators, both legacy and licensed operators. And as a result, people started meeting all these folks. They're like, hey, can you help us do this? Do you know nutrients? Do you know hydroponic equipment? And I would always say, I would be very honest, no, I don't know that stuff personally, but I can find, I'm a good team manager. I'm a good organizer. So I went out and found people who were the best in those worlds and kind of operated as a, almost like a sales consulting business where I would do, equipment operations, lighting, hydroponics, kind of turnkey approach, and then kind of led into doing what I'm doing now, where brand development, helping people set up brands, both in the cannabis space. We've done projects in the hemp, CBD world, supplements, protein products, trying to think all kinds of different products that I help people build out. But so I'm just kind of not trained in that world, but I'm a good manager and I'm great at teamwork and identifying people who can deliver needs. So yeah, that's kind of what I do and what I currently do.
Awesome. So I guess currently, right? So are you working still with Black Buddha Cannabis?
Yeah, so Black Buddha, I'm the COO. It's kind of evolved into a fractional service where I do own a piece of the business. I've been working with my partner Roz McCarthy with Black Buddha for almost 3 years now. And I met her when I was doing lighting and hydroponic equipment, where she's like, hey, would you be interested in doing, they call them boot camps, where essentially they would do like weekend seminars for folks who were interested in becoming a cannabis cultivator or hemp cultivator, where I would do lighting and talk about what I knew. And then we became friends. And I don't know, like 3 years ago, we started Soaring High, which is our parent company. And then we in turn developed Black Buddha Cannabis. So my role there is operations, chief operating officer. But as part of that, I mean, we're small, so way involved in sales, marketing, pretty much everything. So Black Buddha is definitely one of my projects.
So when it comes to sales and marketing for Black Buddha, like how do you position yourselves in a very crowded space?
Great question. Yeah. So first of all, we are an asset-light brand, and we're a Black woman-owned brand. Roz is a Black woman and a longtime advocate in the cannabis space, so well known. And then she suffered a TBI, traumatic brain injury, almost 3 years ago now. Or was it 2 years ago? Yeah, I can't remember. 3 years ago. Yeah, 2021. And that's kind of how Black Buddha was born. So we have a unique brand story, which is a Black woman-owned brand, which is rare in all CPG world, right? Black woman-owned companies are rare. In the cannabis space, very rare. And we position ourselves, the brand story is one of healing. And Roz used the plant for healing and really saved her life, allowed her to become a functional person again. And I just had this discussion with someone today about cannabis. People consume cannabis for medicinal purposes, and people typically, it's no different than someone's like, oh, I need a drink after work to relax, or I need something to sleep. Well, people consume cannabis for medicinal reasons, whether it's, I don't believe that anyone ever consumes just to get high. And although obviously there probably are, but we try to treat our products and all of our marketing and brand story, it's the one of healing. And to respect the plant, so that how we position ourselves, one, we're a Black woman-owned brand, proud of that, a brand built out of healing. So all of our marketing pieces, all of our sales collateral, really everything that we do, I have an eye to make sure that that brand story doesn't get hidden or washed, glossied over, if you will. Yeah, so that, to answer your question, it's hard, right? I mean, there are thousands of brands on the market, so we spend a lot of time doing a lot of development work with retail buyers, wholesale buyers in dispensaries. So we have, and I always say that we have 3 customers in the cannabis. If you're a cannabis brand, you have 3 customers, and the ultimate customer is the paying public. Whether it's medicinal, whether it's adult use, those terms are all just government bullshit. Pardon my language. I don't know if I can.
That's true. Yeah, you can swear. It's okay.
Okay, good. So it's just made up terms, right? It's really as a result of reefer madness. And so we have 3 customers. We have the ultimate customer is the consumer. Then we also have, before you get to that consumer, we have a wholesale buyer. So it could be for a dispensary chain. They might have 1 dispensary, they might have 3, they might have 5, they might have 20. We have to convince that buyer or buyers that we represent something different. And our difference maker is we're a Black woman-owned brand. We practice that. We talk, our package. We try to do sustainable packaging where possible. Work with folks who are women and other businesses of color. Now, it's hard in the cannabis space to find partners that, let's say, like in a state like Ohio, let's say, because I'm here, our brand's here, to find a cultivator of color, it's impossible. So we try to work with service providers, women-owned, Black, brown-owned, people of color, for whether it's packaging or whether it's printing or service providers. And where we can, we want to partner with other companies of color, but it's hard. But we're working on it. That's like one of our missions is to bring up women-owned businesses, other minority-owned businesses. So yeah, that's part of our mission statement, and that's what we work towards.
That's awesome. But I guess so obviously you mentioned that you're in Ohio, you're e-commerce, right? So are you able to ship products outside the state, or are you just restricted to this, only within Ohio? I know that there's some weird restrictions when it comes to state laws, depending on THC levels, all those things. So what does that look like for you guys?
Right. So currently there is no federal legalization. A product produced in Ohio, a licensed product, that's a THC Delta 9, not a hemp-derived Delta Delta 9, HHC. There's a ton of cannabinoids that are derived from hemp. And I'm sure, this all the rage, right? Our products cannot be shipped interstate. So if it's produced by an Ohio licensed producer, it must be sold in Ohio. So
it can be shipped. So you guys can ship the products throughout the state. You just can't ship it outside of the state, essentially.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's say there are 35, I think it's 35 states total right now would have one form or other of adult use or licensed cannabis. So picture 35 different sets of rules, right? And that's what we operate under. So currently we're getting ready to go into our fourth state. So imagine that, and we're a small brand. You have companies, some big multi-state operators like Trulieve, like Curaleaf, like Fresco. They might be in 13, 14, 15 states. That's 14 to 15 different sets of regulations.
Yeah, because they're operating essentially independently within those states and shipping.
Right.
It's a complete pain in the ass. I mean,
so even something as simple as packaging, right? Where it would be great if let's say like for our gummies, right? If I could go out and buy, we had 3 different gummy SKUs. If I could go buy 100,000 of each package, it would be great. But I can't do that because, well, I could, but it doesn't make sense for us business wise, where we could spread it across multiple markets because each state has different labeling requirements. For one state, you can have, and I'm just thinking stupid stuff, but it's like, one state, the warning logo is different, right? It's a different color.
wild. It's wild.
It's stupid
Yeah,
crap.
there's no other line of like CPG products that have if you're selling a soap, you can sell it across state. It's like doesn't matter, but when you're selling, these types of products, it definitely blows my mind. So what would you say in general, right? Like obviously you mentioned a few things, but what would you say is like your biggest challenge that you face as a business when it comes to Black Buddha?
Biggest challenge that we face, capital, number one. The capital markets are really tight for cannabis.
Have you guys raised money or not yet?
We've done friends and family. So we are in the middle of a raise right now in the seed round.
Good luck.
Yeah, right. So we did friends and family. We're talking to some other people right now for probably a smaller seed round. So the thing with us, because we are asset light. A lot of lenders, people lending, they want to leverage like traditional lending. They're leveraging real estate or equipment. We have nothing. We have laptops, right? We have packaging. Those are all consumables. We have receivables, right? That's our one thing that we can lend against. But that's not a great business strategy for long-term growth. So that's probably our number one hurdle right now. Yeah, I mean
so if you were to raise money, you would use it more for like marketing your products and getting in front of more people.
Absolutely, and more packaging and more. Yeah, but so you have to. So the other, I got distracted talking about the 3 buyers. The third buyer and the hardest, honestly, the most difficult community to reach are the retail workers. The bud, in dispensaries, bud tender is the phrase. But we spend a lot of time and have spent a lot of money. I would hate to think how much money we have directly and indirectly spent on bud tender, retail education, but it's been a lot. So we have to reach those bud tenders to tell them the Black Buddha story, to convince them that, our products are worthy of mention when consumers come in, say, hey, I want a product to help me sleep or whatever, whatever the case is. Well, you go into a dispensary and there's literally, Dan, there's hundreds of products. What makes us stand out? So we do, bud tender education, loyalty programs. We set up our own buyer or a consumer rewards program. We call it our Bliss Club because we do things experience based, and Bliss is one of our experiences. So whenever
Right.
we do events, we have QR codes, with signups. It's like, okay, we're not giving a piece of the cheapest piece of, giveaway to anybody if you don't scan a QR code and we capture your data. So
Right.
we built that as we do events. On the consumer side, where we're like, okay, we can capture these fans. So like you sign up for a Bliss Club, and if you register like your birthday, you get a birthday card from Black Buddha. Whether or not you've ever bought a Black Buddha product, you get yeah, we send cards out. We just do stuff like that where we're trying to build our consumer base
Amazing.
where we don't have to, constant engagement, looking towards the consumer of the future in our world. We're a woman-owned brand. We don't think that people have done a great job of marketing towards women in the cannabis space. More and more people are doing it. We're really doing it hard, but it takes money. And so those three buyers that we have to go after, three totally different demographics and needs, right? So that's our biggest challenge for sure, is that keeping those three distinct criteria or those three classes of cannabis consumer or cannabis buyer in mind. So it's a lot.
Have you guys, like, I'm not sure if something that you've thought about or have utilized, but obviously now many companies are looking for ways to kind of, streamline and improve the customer experience with things like AI. So maybe like having AI chat to help you sell more products, as many people have lots of questions and you're kind of positioning yourselves to like a few different categories of buyers. Is that something that you've done or have thought about?
Yep, actually, we have definitely in the works. There's an AI bot that we're kind of working on a little bit. That I have some experience with one of my other businesses, clients that doing some AI bot stuff that I'm pretty enthusiastic for, not just for the cannabis world, but for CPG world in general.
Right.
Uh, it's amazing and scary at the same time on what AI can do, but it's the future, right? Anything that we can do as brand owners and consultants that will drive consumer confidence in our products, right? That's what we have to do. And it's not 2000 in the year 2000 anymore. So we have to market like it's 2030 and not 2024. So, but again, there's it's the whole limitations we have in the cannabis world of being able to advertise. And people get shut down. There's shadow bans on Instagram all the time, or I think TikTok. All the different platforms have their own rules. LinkedIn, where you and I have connected, is the friendliest cannabis community in the world in a
I think
platform.
I think Twitter, I think, is also kind of taken a step back in terms of allowing some of the content.
Yeah,
Or
they allowed, quotation marks allowed, but cannabis advertising. And that was such a huge splash. And there's a lot of brands that do a great job of marketing on Twitter,
right.
X, sorry,
Yeah,
Twitter,
whatever you want to call it.
whatever you want to call it.
But I guess like what have you guys, because obviously you've done some, like you mentioned that your role is marketing, right? So like what have you done or like what has worked thus far in 3 years? Like what has gotten you to where you are today? Is it more like local events or is there some like workaround that you've done to kind of have, promote yourselves in front of your customers?
There is no workaround. Look, it takes feet on the street and spending money, right? That's what it takes. We've done a lot of organic, for sure. A lot of events. A lot of Roz has done a lot of speaking. I try not to do much because I'm not the face of the brand. But what have we done has worked well? All those things. Events where we go out. We're doing one in Ohio, in Columbus this weekend. Industry leaders united or something. It's a group of bud tenders that they have like this trade group, and they're doing an event this weekend. There was an event 1st of January where that was more industry, but this is a mix of public and industry where we're out talking to patients, we're out seeing consumers, talking about, in a state like Ohio, we have adult use that's been voted in November. Who knows when it's going to be fully live, but by September. So we're out, we've been making plans for those days, for that day. So there is no surefire recipe for engaging and winning consumers.
That's true.
Right. I mean, if there was, we would do it, but it's such a fractured market, right? I mean, I don't even know how many brands there are in Ohio, and there'll be 1,000 more when adult use gets rolling. But like Massachusetts, there's a ton of brands. We're in Massachusetts, getting ready to re-enter Massachusetts. A ton of brands.
Right. So what would you say is like the one biggest piece of advice that you wish you knew before you got started in your career?
Overall career,
Yeah.
or this phase of my career?
I guess overall, like what you knew, so you mentioned that back in college, right, that you were, that's kind of where you got started and learned about cannabis. So just in general, like what you wish that you knew back then that you know now that has gotten you to where you are today.
I would say that, and I tell people this all the time, or was asking me for advice. I'm like, I just wish that I would have been more fearless in my career and didn't live so safe career wise. I mean, but I had three kids. I still have three kids. They're all grown.
Yeah.
Not that any of them would ever watch this because they don't really care. But
Mhm.
yeah, but no, I think be fearless and take risk and learn because luckily, I'm old enough where there was not, thank God there was not social media when I was in college or a young adult because I would never be able to show my face anywhere. So I think people starting out now, I have children that range from 24 to 31, and so I can relate a little bit to what they go through career wise, and we talk a lot about it. But there are no sure answers, right? There are no guarantees in life. The only guarantee is you're gonna die one day. That's the only guarantee. So why, if you're going to be in a career, let's say like a space like cannabis, where it's everybody wants in it. I mean, seriously, everyone's, oh, how do I get in it? It's like you just get in. If you are serious, you get in. You learn about the plant. You'll learn about the differences between hemp, a hemp product, and a cannabis, a regulated cannabis product. You learn the differences between product forms. You learn, you just educate as much as you can. But again, that's my thing, that I would have been more fearless and not have been so safe. However, I can say that looking back in retrospect, that I made a ton of mistakes in life and career wise. But everything, the way I look at it is everything I have done leads me up to now, where I have a cannabis brand. We're doing great. People love it. People love the story. They love what we represent. I work with other brands that are same thing. I mean, everybody's trying to do the best and figure out. You just have to figure it out. Just do it. I mean, it's really kind of a terrible cliche, but that's my advice: is just be fearless and educate yourself. But you can't ever eliminate the negative or the unknown in life.
For sure. No, that's great advice. Well, Troy, if somebody watching this wanted to reach out to you, do you mind sharing your website or social media? I guess like best ways to get in contact with you.
Best way is probably email. Would be probably trying to think what my best email address is. Probably T Butler at blackbuddhacannabis.co. And this is probably my best. I won't give you my cell phone number, but that's probably the best way. But yeah, I mean, if people are interested in the cannabis business, talking about operations, I can talk products all day long. I will not talk packaging because I love packaging people, but yeah, there's a lot of packaging vendors out there. which
Awesome.
goes back to hustle. I mean, we all have our place, but
Exactly.
yeah, we're interested in learning more, picking my brain. I'm fairly busy, but I do try to reserve time to talk to people like on Mondays or Fridays, and usually booked a couple weeks out. But yeah, I'm always open to talk and for 15 minutes at least. So,
Awesome. Well, Troy, thank you so much for your time today.
Dan, thanks. Appreciate it, man. Thanks
Of
for
course. Likewise. All right. Bye.